I'm still. So yeah, it was a good decision.
Okay. Can you mention a couple of situations? You're very young, and probably uh, you haven't had to think critically, but maybe you have when you choose a new client, if you choose to launch a new product, if you choose to change the price of your products or services. When we establish prices, when we establish new strategies for a business, um, have you thought of critical thinking and how to solve a complex issue? For example, choosing a new platform, choosing a new line of business, critical decisions that you have had to make in your business or in your career. Do you recall any of those, Mickey?
Mm, yeah, for example, when I'm established the price of the product, actually that happened today. I had a price and one client offered me a certain quantity of money, and obviously there was less money than the money that I wanted at the beginning. But
Okay.
well, at the end, we had a conversation and we negotiated, uh, and we do a good deal. But yeah, that was my reality because you need to check the price of the delivery, uh, if there are other possible clients, mm, if the buyer has the reputation, the correct reputation, or a good reputation to buy your product because you like seller, you have uh, danger. Can I say it?
Yeah, you're in danger, right?
Yeah, in the moment that you're selling something specific, because there are a lot of people who create fake profiles or at the end don't have the money to pay it, and you could lose a client.
Yes.
So you need to analyze a lot of things before you do a business or whatever.
Of course, of course. And which was your line of thought? In other words, would you make a difficult decision uh, when you make a difficult decision? You need to consider two or three alternatives, and you consider three or four or five steps ahead. In other words, you consider the branches, the possibilities, and how deep the analysis is. In other words, for example, if you think like a computer, you're going to analyze millions of options, which brains don't use. I mean, we as men don't think of a million options. You make a synthesis of the most important options that you have to consider, right? How was your thought process, Mickey? How did you make your decision when you were choosing the solution?
Mm, yeah, well, at the beginning, you need to analyze all the alternatives that you have. You must understand that mm, that you have an possible client and you want to sell at the best price for you. So at the beginning, I met this person, I talk with that person, and depending too in the way how they write or in the way how they talk, I choose if it is a good possible client or not. Because there are people who are very rude and makes you feel how can I say discontent, distrust.
Distrust, distrust or mistrust worthy. They are
Yeah,
mistrusting or distrusting. Actually, if
yeah,
they don't
Mexico
trust
is
you,
similar.
they are very distrusting. They are very distrusting. They don't
Yeah,
trust you.
and well, when you analyze the possible client, the way how they talk to you, if it is a polite person or not, well, you could check your possible clients and choose the better for you. Because probably somebody offers you more money, but if you see that this person is rude, that don't respect in the way that you want to be respected, well, I prefer to lose a little quantity of money or not gain the quantity of that I wanted at the beginning, but be sure and secure of the person who are talking to me or gonna buy my product.
Of course, of course. Well, that is an important comment, truly. So let's see how the book talks about problem solving and what the proven strategies for mastering critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making are. So let's take a look at these. Can you please read the index table of contents?
Yes, sure. Table of content, teacher.
Yes.
Again, can you just uh, turn off your microphone just a little bit? Because I
Okay.
think produce like an echo.
Okay. So let me turn it off when I finish speaking.
Thank you, teacher. Sorry. Table of contents, introduction, chapter 1, problem solving, chapter 2, solving strategies, chapter 3, the problem solving cycle, chapter 4, what is critical thinking, exploring various aspects, chapter 5, critical evaluation and brain mechanism explained, chapter 6, applying critical thinking to everyday problems. Chapter 7, improving decision-making skills. Chapter 8, benefits of improving thinking capacity and decision-making. And conclusion.
Nice. Very nice, Mickey. I'm gonna try to speak with the earphones and the microphone. Probably that will solve the problem of the echo. Please let me know. I'm going to
Okay, teacher.
connect. I'm gonna connect this. I wonder if you can hear me now. Can you hear me, Mickey?
Yes, sure.
Okay, but I don't know if it reduces the echo or if still there. If there is echo still.
Still there, teacher.
Oh, okay, oops. So what I'm going to do is when I finish talking, I will turn off the microphone.
Okay, teacher, thank you. Oh,
Okay. Well, here we have these
wait.
various chapters with its introduction, and uh, the first chapter is problem solving.
Yeah.
Let's read the first page, please, Mickey, and then we discuss it. Okay.
Mhm. Problem solving is a term that every human being might have come across on multiple occasions. Everybody states that a manager or supervisor has to be a master at problem solving, but this is not true. Every human being faces multiple problems in life that he must try to solve. For instance, a housewife has to plan the expenditure for her house carefully. If she finds that she is running short of finances, she must work backwards and see how she can overcome the problem while purchasing the same amount of products of her house.
Okay, this is a truly important issue, and actually is a cause of many troubles in many families that I have known, and is lack of organization, right? The housewife is the finance manager, right? So she must know the income. What is the income? How much money are you making? Well, I'm making 10,000. I'm making 20,000 a month. I'm making 30,000, whatever. She must plan and manage the money for the groceries, for the leisure. If you want to go to the movies, leisure, clothing, bills, etc. It's not an easy task. It's not easy, but it's incredibly important. What do you think of how a housewife or even a husband have to manage the expenses of a house, Mickey? What is important when you manage the finances of a house?
Mm, could you repeat the question, teacher? Yeah, well, it's too important because you must manage in the best way the money that you have because you need to administrate and manage for all the things that I have needs. Uh, since the more basic that are food, clothes, uh, light, water, and later the things that like family needs too. Probably there are not like basic needs, but leisure and obviously pay bills. So I think that is so important, and the the person who manage all the money in a house or in a family must have a control of all the income and outcome. I said correctly, and expenses inside the house.
That is crucial, absolutely important. What you say is actually a basic principle of administration. It may be simple if the housewife is a good and organized person. The control of the finances of the house will be very easy. On the other hand, if the person is totally disorganized, is not organized, the finances of the house will be very complex, very complicated. You will be short of money. You will say, there is no money, there is no, well, if there is not enough money, we need to cut off the expenses. Yeah, but you need to make more money. Well, yeah, but that's when I make more money, we spend more. But now, in this moment, we spend this and this and that. There must be an organization. There must be an organization in the house where your expenses should never surpass your income, right?
Mhm.
So that is basic and looks easy, but it's actually complicated in real life. But well, if the person is organized, should not be a problem. Let's read the second paragraph, Mickey, please. And if
Yes,
you
sure.
can please continue reading, let me turn off the mic.
Sorry, teacher. Um, the process of problem solving is not relevant only to human beings. It could be related to most living beings. It was found that there are cats living in the Arctic region. Its climate is terribly cold and there is barely any life in the region. There are cats in the region too. Surprising, is it not? These cats are lean because their body burns the fat to keep it warm. It cannot last forever without food. There are rabbits in the Arctic too. These rabbits are food for the cats. The cat cannot chase the rabbit all over the region. It cannot lose all of its energy in chasing a rabbit that it might not catch. The cat actually analyzes the situation and checks on whether or not it should chase the rabbit. It takes into consideration the distance between the rabbit and itself. If it feels that it can chase the rabbit and catch it, it goes on its hunt. Follow me.
Well, this is actually very important. And tigers, lions, pumas, panthers, all the felines, actually, all the animals do the same. If a tiger is going to hunt a zebra, it analyzes the situation and it determines if it is worthwhile to go for the hunt. And not only in the Arctic, in the Sahara Desert, in the jungle of Bengal, Bengal tigers do the same analysis. So people analyze when you make your tennis shoes sales, you say, well, I'm going to make this much profit. I'm going to send the tennis shoes to China, to Japan. It's going to be a huge effort. I need to translate to Chinese. I need to speak with a broker or with the Dwayne's agent. It's going to be a lot of work and I'm going to make 20 pesos profit. Well, it's not worth it, right? So you do
Yeah.
the same. Everyone does the same. Is it worth it or not? What do you think of the analysis of the cat? Does it resemble human beings, Mickey, or not?
Yeah, of course, you need to understand where you stand up, and you need to analyze if it is gonna give you a good profit or not, if it is gonna be uh, useful or not. So you need to analyze all the advantages and the disadvantages that you could have in the moment that you are solving a problem or selling something or whatever.
Absolutely, Mickey. And that is crucial. That is absolutely crucial. You think if the effort is worth the pain, right? I'm sorry, if the reward is worth the pain. So the question that humans make is the effort worth the pain? And it looks like a trivial question. It sounds like a simple question. In what situations do you think, do you make this question? You question yourself, is the effort worth the pain? Can you give 3 or 5 examples, Mickey, please, where you make yourself this question?
Yes, sure. Could be right now, like a student. Uh, I always wondering if the effort uh, worth the pain is. Another could be mm, with my sneaker store too, because sometimes I need to deliver so many pairs. I need to answer messages, and for me, answer a lot of messages and requests could be a little bit hard because I need to stay all the time in the cell phone. So um, sometimes I was wondering if it works or if it's a good way to do it. Another could be in the gym. When I'm working out, sometimes I feel so tired, and in the middle of the training, sometimes I was wondering if it's really worth because I spent a lot of time training and doing exercise, and sometimes I say, yeah, but probably I could do other activity and that would be fine. But at the end, the gym and working out give me a lot of results, and that's why I continue doing that. And fourth, when I'm studying piano, when I'm taking my piano lessons on internet, sometimes I feel a little bit. Mm, I forget this word. Uh, how can I say this is desesperado?
Anxious or desperate? Anxious or desperate?
Yeah, sometimes I feel anxious because I want to take like one velocity, and sometimes it gets harder, and sometimes I get anxious. But but well, I think that the effort is worth it. Yeah.
Mickey, the last one, no, a fifth situation in which you feel fine. I mean, in which you think or you ask yourself, is it worth the effort?
Mm, well, sometimes for me it's not complicated, but sometimes I feel tired when I'm in the school in my classes. I feel tired because probably the last night I didn't sleep very well, and obviously this thinking came to my mind if it's really worth the time that I spent, or if I'm I'm doing the things that I want.
Those are truly important questions. And then you need to determine, yes, it is worth it, or no, it isn't worth it. Sometimes you say, well, truly, this is a bit of a waste of time. This is not worth it. I better do this. Or I can wait for a better moment to do it. Or I need to do this to advance, to make progress, or to do something different. Or you can just
Yeah.
say, okay, it's a temporary resistance. I need to just resist a little bit. Like when you go to the gym, right? I just need to do 5 or 10 more push-ups, or just need to do this or that. And then so you can say, okay, it's not worth it. I'm going to change. It's worth it. I'm going to continue. Or it's not worth it, but I'm going to resist a little bit. So those are the types of decisions people make. What do you think about it, Mickey?
Yeah, of course, we need to analyze why we're doing the things that we're doing. And sometimes I think that it's necessary to remember why you began with that, why you started that. Because sometimes it's complicated when you have like your routine, like your habits, and you feel like I'm doing the same all the time. But when you remember the purpose of why you started, I think that is when you start um, to see that the effort that you're doing worth is worth it.
Exactly right. Yeah. Well, you mentioned something incredibly important, and it is why did you start to begin with, right? And that's a question that we often, well, not often, sometimes forget. Why did I
Yeah.
start this, right? Uh, there is a joke that involves an Afro-American that is complaining to God and says, "Hey God, I'm complaining. I'm very upset." It's a joke, of course. It says, the skin, this thick skin, look at the skin, is so thick, it's so black. Why did you give me this black skin, and God says, you're okay, man. The jungle, the rays of the sun, the sunlight is going to hit hard on you. You're going to resist. The mosquitoes will bite you. Well, the skin will resist the bites of the mosquitoes. And he says, okay, God, okay. Okay, look at this mouth, these thick lips, the jaws. I look like a shark. Why did you give me these big jaws, these big lips? It says, you're okay, man, you're okay. The tigers, you're gonna eat animals in the jungle, you're going to kill zebras and eat them. You need these big jaws. You're good, and so on, right? And finally, the Afro-American guy says, "Okay, okay, God, thanks. You're right. Just one more question. What am I doing in New York, right?"
Mm. That's a good joke.
Right. So that's okay, okay, okay. Yeah, but then what am I doing here, right?
Mhm.
But okay, it's just a joke. Now, seriously, the comment is very important, right? Why did you start that? Why am I going to the gym? Why did I enter college? Why am I in the university? Why am I learning another language or languages? Why am I running a business? Why? I mean, why do I come to school, etc. These are important questions, and it's important to remember them. So I believe that your question is incredibly important and very valid. Let's read a little bit more of this chapter, please. These three paragraphs, starting with this is a classic example, please, Mitch.
Oh, there is Mitch, I think.
Hi, teacher.
Are you very nice, very nice, very nice? Are you ready for the weekend, Mitch? This is Friday. How's your day?
Yes, it's actually very good. Oh, I hear my voice on Mickey's screen. Oh, and today was really tricky, and I was pretty fussy today. But and my dad and I don't know. I forget how to say junta.
Meeting.
My dad ends his meeting pretty late, and when I come here, I can't found my charger. Then was truly difficult meeting here. Sorry.
Well, don't worry. We also are recording the session so you can take a look later on what Mickey and I were talking about. We're talking about a very interesting topic, actually. Mickey, can you please give a summary of the topic that we're discussing today? It's quite interesting.
Yes, teacher. Well, at the beginning, we were reading about the analysis in the moment that you're taking a decision, um, and how you need to analyze where you stand, and how can you decide the better decision for you. And and then sometimes you could feel like you could have like these thoughts that makes you say, for example, is the effort worth the pain, or if the effort that I'm doing here worth all the time that I spent on it. And yeah, that's a little bit, that's a summary.
Nice.
That is an excellent summary, Mickey. Is an excellent summary. So you are becoming critical of your own activities. Is this worth the effort? You go to the gym, you buy a new pair of sneakers, you buy a new dress, you go to the stylist, you go to a party. Is it worth the effort? And you say, yeah, it is worth it. Or maybe sometimes you say, it is not worth it, right? It does not worth the effort. That's not worth, it's not worth the pain. So that is a very, very important question. So Mitch, do us a favor, can you please? Can you continue reading here where it says, this is a classic example of problem solving. We were talking about how important It is, for example, for a woman to run a house, the finances of a house.
Mhm.
To run a house seems easy, but it's actually one of the most complicated activities in a family. There is certain money, you allocate the money, you designate the money. This is for tuition of school, this is for
Mhm.
clothing, this is for leisure, go to the movies, this is for this, etc. To organize the money in a house is easy to say, but it's incredibly complex. And the second problem, Mitch, the second example, I'm sorry, is when the animal, the wild animal, is going to hunt in the Arctic, in the jungle, and is making considerations. The tiger is going to hunt the zebra. Is it worth the race? Am I going to start running after the zebra? Is it worth the effort? Right. So that
Mhm.
is the other example. What do you think about this, Mitch?
You put an effort of something to achieve a goal. Uh, I mean, I think it has to be something that we really enjoy, and we at the end we can think that everything worth it, because I think after all the effort and after all the days, if we don't feel that satisfaction at the end, I think it could be a pretty uh, deception feeling. Mhm.
Mitch, you have said something incredibly important. It says, can you read the last sentence, the one that I am, you said this, I just wrote it, but it's incredibly important. Can you repeat what I just put in a rectangle, orange rectangle, please?
Mhm. After all the effort, if we don't feel that satisfaction at the end, it could be a pretty disappointing activity or feeling.
Or feeling, exactly, exactly. I believe this is the true nature of life. I don't want to say that this is the meaning of life, but probably it is. We want to do things to get satisfaction. We do some effort, right? We go to the gym, we eat, we go to school, we get a job, we build a house, we raise a family, and at the end, your parent says, "Oh, look at Mickey, look at Mitch, look at Luis Angel, great people, yeah, building the family was worth it." You have this feeling of satisfaction, right? Sometimes you say, "Oh, I'm gonna study nuclear physics," and then I start reading books and books and books, and then I say, "Oh, but there is no job here in Mexico. Oh, this is pretty disappointing," right? So you get disappointed when you don't have this feeling of satisfaction. So I believe your comment is incredibly important. Mickey, what do you think about Mitch's comment, please?
Yeah, I think that sometimes could happen to us because sometimes you do a lot of effort to solve one thing or to do an activity, and your satisfaction, probably you expect a satisfaction, and when you don't, or when you almost done the thing or the activity that you were doing, probably you could feel that your effort is not worth it. And I think that is awful, but it's something that could happen in everything. It's frustrating.
Exactly, Mickey. You have this feeling of frustration. Uh, Also, there are techniques of handling the frustration, but you also said a very crucial word, Mickey. You use the word expectation. Expectation. When you have your expectations about a job, about a friend, maybe about your girlfriend, maybe about the family, surely about your teachers, about the school. You have expectations about everything, about the society, right? Society. You say, well, I live in Mexico. Is it worth to continue living in Mexico, or I emigrate to Canada? I emigrate to the United States. I emigrate to Germany. You think about that. I mean, people think about that, right? That's why there is so huge immigration to the United States or to Canada. So you have your expectations about your job, about basically everything. So you become critical, right? You start thinking critically. And then if your expectations match your effort, then we are happy. But if the I'm sorry, not the expectations, the results match the expectation, right? If the results match expectation, we are happy. We are happy. If not, we feel frustrated. We feel frustrated. And then what? So that is the question. Then what? This is a complex question, Mitch. Okay, it's not what I thought. Then what do we do? Can you answer that question? It's a complex question, Mitch, but
Mm, we are here.
the question is
Oh,
the question is if the result matches your expectation, you're happy, right? You go to the movies and you say, okay, I'm gonna spend 50 pesos. I go to the movies and you say, oh, the movie was fantastic. Yeah, it was worth it. It was 50 good pesos, 50 pesos well spent. But if not, you feel, oh, that was a waste of money. 50 pesos for a terrible movie. You feel frustrated. What do you do when you have a frustration, when you are frustrated, when you feel frustrated? What do we do generally?
mm, we don't bath. We lost the motivation to continue doing another productive things in that day. Well, at least in my case. um, and I think that if we feel that, only something pretty good could calm us or could give us that motivation of continue in that day.
Very good, Mitch. Thank you very much. Mickey, what do you think? In other words, the question is complex. How do you cope with frustration? It's not an easy question, and actually, every person copes with frustration in a different way because we have all different personalities, right? Mitch is saying a very interesting comment. She needs another positive thing to happen to compensate for the mishappening or for the bad feeling of the moment. How do you normally cope with frustration, or how do you see other people coping with frustration? I'm going to write the question and I'm going to put off the
Mm, I would love to say that sometimes I cope with frustration uh, with calm and relaxed, but not all times uh, I cope with the frustration in that way. Sometimes I need to do other activity, or I need to have my mind busy, busy, because when I feel frustrated, I start to think a lot of things, and that makes me feel worst. And instead, feel better or trying to solve or trying to deal with it affect me more. So I think that the best way to cope with frustration is having your mind busy. Uh, you need to do activities that makes you feel busy, that makes you uh, spend spend your time correctly, and not only uh, seeing videos on the cell phone or listening to music. Because when you're not doing like a specific activity, probably you start to think more and you could feel worse. So yeah.
Excellent. Yes. Very good, Mickey. Thank you very much. I like your answers very much. I like your answer, Mitch, a lot, and your answer, Mickey, a lot. They're excellent answers. Uh, let's read the next two or three paragraphs, Mitch, please, where it says, "This is a classic example of problem solving." Can you read that, please, Mitch?
Yes. Okay. This is a classic example of problem solving. The problem at hand here is whether or not the cat must hunt for the rabbit. This cat uses the basic of physics in order to obtain a solution. The answer is very simple, yes or no. It is the method through which the answer is obtained that is problem solving. This method can generally consist of using ad hoc methods to identify solutions to problems of any magnitude. These methods, through and out, are used used in an orderly fashion in order to obtain next to perfect results. A lot of these techniques are used in computer science, engineering, and mathematics. These techniques have been developed through the techniques studied and using in psychology.
Thank you very much, Mitch. This issue is so important that when you solve problems of any kind, I mean, from surviving. Do you remember, guys, the famous movie? It's very old, but probably you have seen it. The Survivors of Andes.
Not sure.
Mm-mm.
And you, Mitch, have you seen The Survivors of Andes? The movie in Spanish is Los Supervivientes de los Andes.
No me, I didn't hear of it, teacher.
Mickey, Mitch, can you Google the movie for a second, please? It is a practical example of decision making that well, saves your life, right? That simple.
What is the name, teacher? Could you repeat it?
The Survivors of Andes, Los
Yes.
Supervivientes de los Andes.
Uh, the movie is called Viven. No, no idea.
I think they've made like a couple of movies, several movies, but it
Yeah.
refers to the Survivors of Andes.
There were now 29 survivors. That's a movie where people started to eating each other.
That's a movie.
I think that I heard about it, but I never saw the movie.
Well, can you look up for a summary of the movie? Because it's a true happening. That happened with, I believe, a hockey team from Chile that was going to meet an Argentinian team, and they flew over the Andes, and the airplane crashed, and there were some survivors. It's a great story. It's of real life. How to make decisions. Well, these decisions can save your life and the life of many other people. Can you look up for the summary, please, Mitch, Mickey?
Yeah, sure. Um, I have here the summary. The movie is called Alive, I think.
Okay, fantastic. Can you share the screen and read what you have over there, Mickey, please.
Yes, sure. Um, I think so.
It is starting to show.
Am I sharing right?
Yes, you're sharing, but the screen is appearing slowly. It's still not totally clear.
Oh, okay. Still loading.
Yeah, still loading. But if you have the screen at sight and you can read, oh, now it's visible. Now it's visible. If you can please read the
Oh,
summary of the story, please.
yes, sure. There are some stories you simply can't tell. The story of the Andes survivors may be one of them. After their plane crashed high in the mountains on a flight to Chile, they survived for most of a winter in the shell of their wrecked aircraft, living on wine, chocolate, and the flesh of their dead converts. Finally, three of them set and to finally did recroak to through civilization. Accounts of this mystical nature. Many of the survivors were members of devout Catholics, and after they realized they did not resort to cannibalism, they the psalms their act of the Eucharist. Some of the boys made mice to eat their flesh if they well. Continue, sure. Yes, because
Yes, Mickey, please. Yes, yes,
I
continue,
couldn't
please,
hear
Mickey.
you.
I disconnected my
Okay, okay.
microphone. Yes, yes, continue, please,
Alive.
Mickey. It's very interesting.
Okay. Alive stresses this metaphysical level in scenes such as one where a survivor, stranded without hope in the middle of vast space of exults that he has felt closer to God. The euphoria that mountain climbers report after their harrowing climbs, and it may be absolutely true, or a case of rapture of the hikes, but a little of both. The problem is no movie can rely on past the sheer enormity of the experience. Have subtitles tick off day 50 and day 70. The actors in the movie continue to look amazingly healthy and well fed. Well, I think that was a random fact of the movie, but I think the summary was I already read, teacher.
Very, very good, Mickey. Thank you very much. So the flesh, and I mean the flesh in good sense, not the flesh of the victims, but I mean the flesh of the story,
Yeah,
the pulp of the story. And sorry for the sarcasm. The meat of the
yeah,
story is that they had to make difficult decisions. One of the decisions was to resort to cannibalism to survive. One of the victims, one of the people who suffered the accident, who survived the accident, had his mother and his brother and sister. They died, and they made him promise that he would eat. So cannibalism is horrible. I mean, But if you want to survive, you needed to do that. And the second big decision was the three people who decided we are walking, but you're walking on ice. Imagine the Andes. Yeah, to find a picture of the Andes, it's just ice and ice and ice for kilometers. And they said, we cannot just wait. We need to do something. And they decided to go from through the Andes, and finally they reached civilization. That decision saved the life, not of everyone, but saved the life of the survivors. Is yes, Mickey.
No, teacher, I didn't say nothing.
Okay. Well, that's what we talk about when we refer to decision making. Some decisions are simply incredibly important, and that you have basically not much time to think and analyze, but you just need to go for the solution. Which ones have you thought, Mitch, have been the most complex decisions that you have seen, that you have heard of, that you have taken, difficult decisions that you say, well, this is a difficult decision. I have taken this decision. I have seen this decision. My dad, my mom, my brother, my teachers, my neighbors, the president, the mayor of Irapuato. What decisions have you faced that are difficult decisions, Mitch? Please.
Hmm, in, for example, choose one thing between both you consider too important.
Did you say the word trust?
No es cierto. If you need to choose one thing between both, those are considered by you too important.
Okay, I understand. The example is a great example. Great example. And yet you have to decide. You have to decide if you study chemistry or medicine. You need to decide if you're going to eat a strawberry ice cream or a mango ice cream. You have to decide if you go to the beach or you go to the forest. You have, yeah, you have difficult decisions. Sometimes they're difficult. Even if they are positive, you still need to make a decision, right? How do you finally make the decision? Because you cannot say like this or the other. You need to decide. How do you make that decision?
Um, Consider all the benefits that one thing have than the other, or the value emotional. It depends of the person choose with which thing it's more convenient to each situation.
Excellent. I like the answer very much. What about you, Mickey? Please. How do you make a decision when you have two equally or apparently equally important choices? You have two great choices or two difficult choices, but equally difficult or equally easy. How do you make a decision?
Mm, I start to analyze the impact that one decision could affect to me. And when I'm analyzing all the factors and all the mm, possible consequences that the respective decisions could could affect to me, I start to define what is better or what is easier to me or what is um, the best way to solve something.
Okay, perfect. Very nice. I like that very much, Mickey. Thank you very much, Mitch. Excellent examples. Let's read a little bit of this, please. Who wants to read What is Problem Solving? Somebody wants to read it?
Me.
Okay, Mitch.
Teacher, are you don't sharing screen?
Oops, I'm sorry. Let me share the screen back again. Let's see. Share. Okay, here. Share screen. All right. Here you go. Thank you, Mitch. Let me turn off the mic.
What is a problem solving? Problem solving is the term that has found in place in most fields. However, each of these fields has a different perspective on what problem solving exactly is. For example, in psychology, problem solving will be they define defined uh, as finding a solution to any mental issues or processes where are in statics. It will be defined as a method to obtain a solution for a certain issue on how many fish are there in a lake. One must remember that the problems can also be categorized. These categories will be well defined problems and ill defined problems. Ill defined problems, as the name suggests, are problems that do not have a clear cut goal. It makes it difficult to come up with solution to such problems. You might not be able to identify an expected solution with defined problems. On the other hand, are those problems to which solution can we found easily. These problems have been problem and also identify feasible solution to the same. We might also be able to plan in advance if we identify such a problem.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Let's do a short exercise, very simple. We're talking about, Mitch is talking about what, Mickey? Well-defined problems and ill-defined problems. What did she say that was a well-defined problem, Mickey, and an ill-defined problem?
Could you repeat it, teacher?
Yes. What did Mitch say that was a well-defined problem and an ill-defined problem? How did she define a well-defined problem and an ill-defined problem?
Mm, I didn't hear very well because my computer started to be a little bit slow. But if she could repeat it, would be great, teacher. Sorry.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So, Mitch, can you please repeat the definition of well-defined problem and ill-defined problem? I will put it in the screen again, please.
Um, has a different perspective. No. For example, the psychology problem solving will be defined as a finding solution to any special issues or processes where are in statistics. It will be defined as a method to obtain a solution for a certain issue or how many fish are there in the lake.
Ah, okay, teacher. Now I get it. Yeah, for example, L problem, it is difficult to define, and obviously, if it is difficult to define, probably it's more difficult to solve. And instead, with well-defined problems, those problems could have an easier solution on an easier way to solve. That is correct.
Absolutely, absolutely correct. Yes, Mitch's definition of ill-defined problems And well-defined problems is very correct, is very good, and it's also very important. Let's make a list, and I'm going to make a list of problems, and you're going to say if it is a well-defined problem and it's easy to fix. For example, I am overweight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Where is that?
overweight, pasado de peso,
Okay.
and I want to reduce my weight. Is that an easy problem to? Is it well defined or is complex to understand? And is it easy to solve or not? Mitch, what do you think?
It is easy. I think it depends of each person how to treat each personal problem.
Okay, so Mitch says that if I am overweight, Mickey, the problem is well defined and the solution should be more or less easy to fix. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is well defined because obviously you can notice that you're overweight because you just don't see it. You just feel that you're overweight. So if you want to reduce your weight, well, the solution is obvious. You need to do exercise, to eat eat healthier, and yeah, and take care of your health in general.
Very good, Mickey. Thank you very much. Let's talk about another problem. We want to reduce violence in Irapuato or in the state of Guanajuato. I don't know if that problem is well defined or not, and if the solution is achievable or is not easy to achieve. What do you guys think about it? Can you please make a comment in the Jamboard and write this problem is well defined, is easy to solve, or this problem is not well defined, is difficult to solve, or this problem is well defined but is not easy to solve. Can you make comments in that sense,
Yes,
Mitch,
teacher.
Nikki? I'm going to share the Jamboard. I'm going to write some typical problems, and please you add comments. This problem is well defined. This problem is not well defined. This is easy to solve. This is difficult to solve. Can you guys please?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, teacher.
Yes, Mickey, no problem, no problem. So let's answer directly in the Jamboard, please, if you're so kind.
Oh, Don't teacher, I think.
Okay, Mickey, thank you very much. Let's read your answers and explain why you think so. So let's begin with answer to making more money at work or in your own business. Who can answer that, please? If it is well defined and easy to solve, and why you think that, please?
Well, I put here that it's well defined, but probably it's not too easy to solve because, well, you know that you want to make more money because probably your uh, upcoming,
Your income.
your income. But when you spend, well, you spend more. Probably you're gonna spend more, or the things that you normally buy in your business, the prices increase. So you know what is the problem. But probably it's not easy to solve because you need to increase probably your prices, you need to sell other services or other products, you need to try to spend more your business, try to find probably a new location and try to publish and in different places your business. So I think that the problem is easy to detect, but probably is not too easy to solve. Obviously, everything is possible, and if you give the correct effort, well, you're gonna do it. But yeah, that's my conclusion about that sentence.
Excellent, awesome, very nice, Mickey. Thank you very much. Mitch has an interesting, very interesting comment about violence in Irapuato. Mitch, can you read your answer and explain why you think not so easy to solve, that you consider actually that is very complicated? Can you explain why, Mitch, please?
Yes, teacher. He like these tests. it could be no, it is difficult because the police or the government or the agents which needs to be the ones guarantees our security are not in each little space of the city or of the state, and are not they are not God or Hawkeye to see to administrate or manage all the bad people there are hide in the little spaces of the country. And are a lot of people and are not easy to identify sometimes, and then it is really difficult to reduce the violence or the delinquents in Irapuato or Guanajuato.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you very much. Great example, great definition, and great explanation. People who commit crimes, there's a quantity of people that you cannot manage. How can you handle people if there are thousands? Probably collusion between the police and the criminals. Probably, right? So, how do you reduce violence if there is a possible collusion between the police and the criminals? There is a lot of people. You need to identify people. All right. Thank you, Mitch. There is another one, Mickey. How easy it is to widen, to grow your clientele? Is it well defined? Is it not? How do you solve that? Is it easy or not easy to solve? And what do you think about that, Mickey, please?
Mm, well, I put here that is well defined, but it's not easy to solve because, of course, if you want to sell more, you need to widening your clientele, and probably it's not too easy because you need to change some things um, in your business. You need to search more in a specific market or try to expand your market, probably selling other products or probably in other location, putting your business in sorry, in other location. So probably you need to analyze so many aspects to why widening your clientele. I said before, it's well defined, but I think that is not too easy to solve.
Okay, Mickey, thank you very much. Let's read Mitch's answer to another interesting problem. I'm going to point it out here. Uh, Finding a nice location to live. What do you think about that? Is that easy? Is that complex? Is it well defined? Maybe it's not very well defined, but might be easy to solve. What do you think about that, Mitch? Can you read your answer and then explain it, please?
Yes, teacher. Well, I thought it is well defined, as we need to say in the statistics of mortality of life of the state of the country, the state of economy, and of course, if we cannot that if the people are nice or good educated too, it could be more comforting and comfortable for us. Um, I think we need to do a pretty good sharing and investigation of that country. Uh, well, the location, and if it is a good economy, I think it's the most important. Because if it has a good economy, it could has also a good mortality of life. The people could live longer, and, and also if it is there's not too much delinquents could be great too, and interact with the people and see the opinions of the people. How can I say extranjeros o que no son de ahí?
Foreigners,
Ajá.
foreigners.
The foreigners of that location, the criticism, how are the people there? If they are rude or if they are nice or good educated, that could be great too. But it is not the most important thing.
Very good, Mitch. Thank you very much. This is a very, very interesting comment. Mickey, what do you think about the same question? How do you choose a nice location to live in? And I'm not referring only to another country, maybe in the same city. You say, well, we live in a nice area because here we have everything nearby. We have a gymnasium, we have a big street, there is a cluster, is a closed location, it's a nice place. How do you choose or how do you find a nice location to live?
Mm, probably, well, I put that it's well defined and easy to solve, but probably I see in a, I forget this word, in a general way, because I just think, for example, me, that I live in Irapuato and I'm gonna search another place here in Irapuato too. So I think that it was easy. But for example, if you are a French people, if you're French person, sorry, well, probably it's gonna be difficult because you don't know exactly how it's living in other place, how um, which areas are better to live, which areas have better economy, which areas have um, better security, better if you have kids, better education. So I think that it's easy, but you need to do a research about it and take an take a decision making. So how can I say it? So deeper. Take a decision, but in a deeper way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Change, vary your options, vary your options, change
Mhm.
the way you decide, you make your decisions.
Yeah, you need to check all your options and do a really research about it and think about it, analyze all the advantages and disadvantages that could bring you uh, a specific location or another specific location and see what is better for you, depending of your needs. También.
Good, very good. Excellent, Mickey. Thank you very much. Let's see one last comment I feel is from Mitch. She says that we should see strategies to promote our business. Okay, that is making more money at work. Can you talk about that, Mitch, please?
Um, well, I'm not an owner of a business, and I've never worked in my life yet. But I think it could be good if we see strategies to promote our business and reach more people to make our business more attractive to the majority of the public, or at least to the public goal. Um, um, and we could invest on actives um, to structure better our business. Um,
Well, you said something incredibly important, incredibly important. You want to invest in assets. Which are the
ah,
assets? The structure, infrastructure, computers, systems, designs, painting. You want to paint your business, decoration, uh, make it more attractive. That is truly what it is all about. And I like your comment very much, same as Mickey's comment. So, well, that is really, really important. So, Mickey, which are your final comments about today's topic? It was very interesting. What do you want to say to summarize we want to summarize a book in, in 1 minute, right? But it's a
Yeah.
complex topic. But how would you summarize everything we discussed today, Mickey?
Yeah, well, mm, thank you, teacher. Because it's weird to listen to me at the same time that I'm talking. But yeah, I think that decision making is one of the most important things that we need to do, and that we need to get used to it, because sometimes we take decisions without thinking, and we don't analyze correctly all the advantages or the disadvantages that one decision could bring to us. So I think that is so necessary and so important, and you can detect the problems, and when you really detect the problem, you could detect the best way to solve that problem. Mm, Apart of that, I think that there are problems easier than others, but all the problems have a solution. So you need to just give the time that the problem deserves to be solved, and well, we're gonna solve it, and we're gonna resolve it, and yeah, that's my conclusion about it.
Very nice, Mickey. Thank you very much. What do you want to say, Mitch, as a summary to the topic of today? I know that you arrived almost half the class, but still you made very good contributions. You made interesting comments, and you talked very well. You wrote very well about what problems are when they are well defined or poorly defined. What do you want to say about that, Mitch, as a conclusion?
Even if I have been all the class, I think we need to analyze the thing that we do. We did everything every time, and analyze the structure and uh, planified to good for in the end we could be uh, how can I say orgullosos, teacher?
Proud. You can be
Uh,
proud.
we could be proud of our effort and of our work, and that I think that that feeling could be truly satisfying.
Well, that's a fantastic conclusion. I like your comments very much, Mitch, Mickey. And as usual, another great day of discussion. You guys are discussing deep, profound topics. So I don't think that we're talking about just trivial things. They are important topics. But I'm glad that you are so mature that you can talk about this and other things like this. So thank you very much for your time, Mitch, Mickey, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your weekend, guys.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very much.
teacher.
You
The
as
same
well,
for you.
teacher. See you next week.
Okay, take care, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
You as well,
Have an
teacher. Thank you very
excellent
much.
day, teacher.
Teacher.
Take care. Thanks for the class.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
Mickey. Mickey, take care. Bye. See you.
Bye.